I want it all. Life for the famous, rich beyond my wildest dreams. I'm so shameless. Promised I wouldn't let it go once I grabbed it, but now I want more, and I'ma have it.
Hey, LockEmUp Hoops podcast. I am Realistic Randy with MasterMin and BoldBarry. It's NBA Finals time. Oklahoma City Golden State Warriors Game 7. The Warriors advance to face the Cleveland Cavaliers. Second straight year and back-to-back MVPs for Steph Curry going against LeBron James. This time they're going to be fully healthy. If you're talking about the Cleveland Cavaliers, Kevin Love is healthy. Kyrie Irving's healthy. Matthew Dellavedova isn't going to be the starting point guard. It's fantastic stuff. So we get the rematch. All the haters saying, oh, the Warriors, they wouldn't have done this. They wouldn't have done that. LeBron, he deserves a pass. You mentioned that a couple of times, Mastermind. But BoldBarry, let's start with you. NBA Finals, what do you make of it, and do you got a prediction for us?
So starting off with the finals, I already know who's gonna win. I'm going with the Golden State Warriors. I mean, this is LeBron here playing against another great player. He's under pressure again. He's already been in the comments, in the news and reports talking about, the pressure doesn't bother me, and I'm not thinking about that. And I think he recently just said that now, Steph Curry absolutely deserved the MVP. So I'm looking at this whole approach. I screenshotted this. He also mentioned that he's just gonna go out there and have fun line. So that's a dun 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 for me right there.
Favorite line right now.
Yeah, that's my favorite line of the postseason right now. That doesn't sound good for me, especially, LeBron's a mental guy. He's going to remember that, what happened last year. He doesn't forget about that. They won on their home floor, I believe, too. So, I'm going with the Warriors probably I'd say in 5. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to be bold and say the Warriors in 5. It's bold. And I'm going with it mainly because there's too much pressure going on for the other guys. And like LeBron, now that everybody's there, people are going to more or less go and look at LeBron to take over as if he's going to score 35 again in the finals like last year. So I'm more concerned about how the others are going to perform. We know Kevin Love doesn't really perform well on the road in the playoffs. Kyrie, I'm looking at him a lot this series. I'm looking at him a lot this series. Kyrie, he pretty much is the guy who's going to be the closer in like certain moments because LeBron has always been the guy who really can't get it done in the fourth. We've always seen it in a lot of actually fourth quarters. It doesn't even matter when it is. The guy kind of like shies away in the fourth. You would hear announcers or anybody saying like, oh, this guy's kind of shying away and he doesn't want to like shoot the ball for like 5-minute stretches when clearly you're like the third best player of all time. So you should be shooting the ball. Let's see, J.R. Smith. I'm looking for him to fold under pressure, as always. It never fails. When they get and hit adversity and everything, they're gonna fold. So Warriors are taking this at the end of the day. I'm just gonna weigh in on what you guys got to say and piggyback off that at the end of the day.
Warriors in 5. All right.
So I'm gonna take this approach a little different than with BoldBarry. I think this is going 7. I think LeBron is ready this finals. He has his health. He has Kyrie. He has Love. So they will, even though they were up 2-1 last year, this won't happen again. I think that Golden State and I think the Cavs will split one game in GW. I think that the Cavs will win game 2 though. I don't think they'll win the first game. So I think every game will be tight. I don't think there'll be the OKC Warriors where the Cavs will go up 3-1 and the Warriors come back. There's no way that they have enough energy to do that. I just think that took a lot of them out of last series as well.
They can't do that. They'll lose if they do that.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're going up against I'm not going to say the Cavs are way better than OKC, but this is a little bit of a different team. You're dealing with the guy. Yeah, you're dealing with a team that really hasn't had any competition at all. So this was a cakewalk to the finals for them. So they're definitely rested. And I think that, as I mentioned, I think that LeBron James is upset that Steph Curry is taking his shine. Look, Steph Curry is the back-to-back MVP of the season right now, of the league, unanimous. And you also remember he's unanimous. That's exactly. And you know that LeBron also quoted saying that, I'm gonna paraphrase that, MVP doesn't mean you're the best player in the league. It just means that you are the best player of the season so far. So he's just been piggybacking off Steph. I think he just doesn't really like Steph. I think a lot of these stars don't like Steph, and I think they're coming all after him. So I just feel as though LeBron is ready, Kyrie's ready. Love is still a question mark for me. I think that I'm actually afraid what Kevin Love is going to do when he goes to Golden State, because I think
It's gonna be so rattled.
I just think Draymond Green is. I know he played a terrible series, but I think he is going to get in his head a lot this series. So that's someone who I'm really paying attention to. As far as Golden State, I think they have a chip on their shoulder all year. I know in a few podcasts ago that I mentioned they did have a cakewalk last year because of all the injuries, and they were also down 3-1. So I thought it was over for them. So a lot of people were down on them, and a lot of haters came out when they were down 3-1. So, and they proved to the world that they are legitimately a championship team. So I feel as though they're going to be just as hungry as the Cavs are. As far as I'm gonna go back to LeBron. As far as LeBron, if he loses this finals, he will be 2-5. That means he will lose. That means he would have lost 3 consecutive NBA finals. That right there, I don't think he wants that under his belt. So,
but 6 is so great.
but that's why I think I'm gonna go 7, because I think he's gonna have too much will. There's no way he will just go out and not perform. And if he does, then he just needs to, I wouldn't say retire, but he needs to just keep to himself a little bit more. Don't just stop coming.
Stop slipping on banana peels.
He just needs to perform. So Stephen A. Smith made a good point this year. He said LeBron James is too great to have a losing record in the finals, and if this does happen again, he can't be called the king anymore. The king.
But we keep giving these passes.
Yeah, he can't be the king. The king will have to be Steph Curry, because that will be two consecutive NBA finals.
2-0 on him.
Exactly. So I have this game going 7. I just think that, and I have the Warriors winning 7. I just think that I have these guys going as 4-piece. So
you can't go back on that.
I can't. It's going to happen, because I think the Cavs will get there again next year. I just think these two teams will just keep facing each other. I don't see anyone in the West beating them. I don't see anyone in the East beating the Cavs. So I just think this will be a rivalry, kind of maybe on the Celtics-Lakers rivalry. But I can kind of see something like that happening. But I have the Warriors going in 7, and I have Steph being a Finals MVP, as he should have last year. But I think he'll get his Finals MVP this year. What's up, BoldBarry?
I just wanted to, chime in on the quote that you said from LeBron about like a few weeks ago when, Curry was the MVP and, his definition. And it's funny that 59 minutes ago, he goes, Stephen Curry was definitely the MVP this season. What he does for the league is amazing. It's kind of funny that he says that, but, this is right when he's playing them. And then, about, an hour ago, he also goes, the pressure doesn't get to him. I just go out there and play and have fun. So that's just what I want to add in on that.
Strategic move on him.
I mean, I was about to say that. It was a move probably being like, all right, let me play a mind game. But like, who are you to play mind games? You're 2-4 in the finals, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy because when it comes to just the whole mental game, when it comes to on the court, I think LeBron James, he's an absolute beast. And to be honest, I think this series is also going to go 7 games. It should go 6 games, but I think it's going to go 7. For reasons, because if Steph Curry, all right, so let me start with the Warriors real quick. If Steph Curry, now how he played absolutely fantastic in Game 7, he stepped up like I thought, the MVP, like he unanimous. I called him out the podcast before that. Mastermind, you called him out. This whole go up half court, dump it off, and then just fight for screens all day like J.J. Redick. That just was not cutting it because. I mean, if we're being real, Klay Thompson saved their asses in Game 6, by putting up 41, and then Steph Curry wanted to come on at the end. So if he's going to be passive like he has been for most of this series, then the Cleveland Cavaliers may end up winning this series. However, I'm not going to say that either because we've seen LeBron James in the NBA Finals when the moments are hot where it's like, this is your time. This is your time to make something happen. Yes, 4 times, So they have the chance to flop too because we've said this time and time again. Now the competition starts for LeBron James. Is it that the engines are just, moving without any issues, or are they going to have an epiphany, a sudden realization of truth when they face some real defense? Draymond Green may be the X factor in this. I can't get over how he played at Oklahoma City, and suddenly he's supposed to bounce back. If Russell Westbrook was getting all these offensive boards and everybody was getting offensive boards on you, that's a Draymond Green issue for me. So he needs to step up. And what do you think is going to happen if Russ Westbrook was able to do that? What do you think LeBron James is going to do inside? He's going to just feast out there if you keep letting him do that. So when it comes to the Cavaliers, specifically Detroit, that really was the best series out of that whole, playoff run. Toronto, I said it, they won 2 games. It looked like based off emotion. The Atlanta Hawks, whatever, I'm not going to waste my breath on that. Yeah, exactly. But Detroit, they actually had a chance. They're stout. They were able to get the boards. Andre Drummond, Tobias Harris, Marcus Morris, even Contavious Caldwell-Pope. I like how he plays. And Reggie Jackson is the top 5 point guard in the Eastern Conference, in my opinion. I think he's really good, and he doesn't get enough credit out there. It could be argued. Kyle Lowry, I'm not so sure. I may put Reggie Jackson ahead of Kyle Lowry.
He's a regular season guy.
Yeah. And Reggie Jackson showed fight. He showed fight throughout that whole series against the Cavs. So I'm going to say Golden State in 7 games, but I don't know. I have no idea. And to be honest, I think the Warriors going to end up winning no matter what. But I think, to be honest, LeBron James, if he loses this NBA Finals, he's going to be the equivalent of Peyton Manning, dude. In the when it comes to championships,
because that's exactly who he is.
You know what I mean? Where it's like, you win the one against Oklahoma.
Great stats, smashing everything.
Yeah, I look at the Oklahoma City Thunder. Back when they beat them in the finals with them Miami Heat, I look at them as maybe like the Chicago Bears. They were young, they were inexperienced, they were just getting there and everything like that. And they got to the finals, that following year after. But I just mean, as far as going up against LeBron James, they may not have been ready for it. And then the second championship, Ray Allen may have been the equivalent of that Denver Broncos defense for Peyton Manning in this last Super Bowl. So he may be the equivalent of Peyton Manning. Let's give him a shot. This is the year. He's got the coach. He's got the players.
He has to win this year.
He has to win this year. But my last point is this. You guys mentioned mental games and everything like that. LeBron James saying, oh, yeah, Steph Curry, and they're talking about all this nostalgic type of stuff. Steph Curry, he was on the podium earlier today when they were like, all right, so what do you think this means about legacy or this? And he was just dude, I'm just trying to win championships. Like, I'm not here to do this or that. I let the debaters do that. So, hey, we'll gladly do that for you, Steph Curry. But he's all about playing basketball. But ultimately, the Warriors' success, whether this goes 6 or 7 games, depends on whether Steph Curry decides to play like the MVP like he did in Game 7, or if he becomes passive and a jump shooter like J.J. Redick earlier.
Good point. I thought about this too. I think we're watching Steph Curry. I think he's gonna, when his career's said and done, I think he's gonna be a top 10 player of all time. So I think I'm gonna say that now.
Top 3.
I'll say top 3 or 2. It might be 3 or 2, dude. Seriously.
I'm gonna say he's gonna be a top 10. Not yet for me.
Not yet, but maybe.
But I got him 4-peating because I think we're watching one of those century guys, like where we're watching a really like a great player right now. We have never seen anything like this ever. So I mean, he's just raining threes like it's nothing. So and he can go and he can finish with either hand and he doesn't look as strong as a lot of people look, but this guy is tough, man. I mean, like Steve Kerr said, why do people not take him seriously? Because he looks like he's 12.
Like he's 12. I love that line.
But he's a killer. He is a killer. He is. I mean, this last series against OKC, I don't need to see any more. Yeah. I don't need to see any more. He does it all for me. I mean,
I'm glad you brought. Oh, my fault.
No, go ahead.
I'm glad you brought up the fact that, like, he has the floater and he can score in the paint efficiently, because people, I think, underlook that. People like don't appreciate the fact that he's not just a shooter. Every time I hear people talk about Steph, or like when people talk about his greatness, people are just like, oh, he's just a shooter. Like, and I'm like, you serious? I'm like, this guy's very efficient in the paint. Like, he has this floater, just like you did with the motion, that nobody can stop. He gets to the cup easy and he can score in there. So it's like, he's not just a shooter. Like, I don't get why people are just disrespecting this man's overall game. Like, he has great handle, just like a Kyrie Irving. He can shoot the rock just like a Reggie Miller, and has like a quick release like Allen. Yeah, like, I mean, we're watching this guy being one of the best shooters and players and all-around players in the game. Like, and it gets low-key triple-doubles. People don't like to talk about those. He'll flirt with those a lot. He'll get like a 10, 7, 25, 30 points a game. So it's like, I don't know why people don't appreciate his his greatness, man.
And then,
it's because of LeBron too, but you know.
And then also Clay is, I mean, we gotta give Clay more credit now too. I know I was down. I know BoldBarry, he called him claws last year. So this year, much respect to that man. I mean, he saved this whole season for them. So I think he deserves a lot more credit than he deserves. I know he has Steph, and I mean, right now I thought Draymond was a little bit more valuable than, but Clay has proven that he's more valuable than Draymond at this point right now. So he's dropping just as many threes as Steph. He's a 3-point champion this year. I don't know how much weight that holds, but I mean, that proved he beat Steph in the 3-point contest. I mean, so he's a great shooter as well. And they could just keep moving around. They're not stagnant with the ball. The team is just so unselfish. So I think it's going to be hard for this Cleveland team to beat them. I don't see them. I mean, if they do win, I don't want them to win. I'm not, you guys know I'm not a LeBron fan, but I would like to see Steph get this ring. I want to see I like seeing greatness. I like seeing these stories being written. I like DVDs. Waiting for the DVD
the DVDs being made, screaming it.
I want to
also.
Let me say something real quick. So last point of reference I'm gonna make. Andre Iguodala needs to start. I'm sorry, Harrison Barnes. He's gonna look for a max contract. He's gonna look for this big contract. I wrote about this. As far as with. All right, so a while ago I wrote about the Timberwolves, and I mentioned Andrew Wiggins, how he's comparable to Harrison Barnes, where Harrison Barnes, there will be moments where, he disappears in games and you're not sure he's there, and then out of nowhere he shows up and he makes a fantastic play. But as of lately, those fantastic plays have come too, few and far between. You got to take, 5, WTF moments of Harrison Barnes before you get something really good. And we saw what happened when Andre Iguodala was the primary wingman out with the Warriors with the Oklahoma City Thunder. Kevin Durant, he wasn't shooting all that well all series, but particularly when Andre Iguodala came in, and we talked about what was it, Game 6 when he had the end of the game turnover against Russell Westbrook. He had a couple of turnovers against Kevin Durant. He needs to start. If you guys remember last NBA Finals, Harrison Barnes was starting, and then finally they said, all right, this isn't cutting it. LeBron James was just abusing him, and then Andre Iguodala comes in. Harrison Barnes, I'm sorry, he needs to come off the bench. He needs to come off the bench with that Sean Livingston and Maurice Spates, that second unit, and have Andre Iguodala, as a starting wingman. So that's my last point of reference from that. But Steph Curry needs to play like an MVP, and Andre Iguodala needs to start, not come off the bench.
And I hope Steph and Kyrie guard each other too. I don't want to see Steph guard J.R. Smith. I want to see those point guards.
They're switching. They're switching it. They're switching it. Klay Thompson's the better defender, so it's like. And Steph Curry's not bad on defense. He's not bad, but Klay Thompson is the better one. Yeah,
but game winning steal on KD.
Exactly, he did. But Klay Thompson, why would you waste? He's a better defender than Steph Curry, so why would you waste him on J.R. Smith? J.R. Smith may defend himself for you. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything like that, but he can be streaky. He was putting up all those shots against Kyle Korver and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He's not bad, but come on now.
Play D like that.
Yeah. So
no strength out there for that.
So we'll see. Game 1 is tonight. Cleveland Cavaliers versus the Golden State Warriors. So we'll see about that. Up next, we're going to talk about Kevin Durant. He is now going to be an unrestricted free agent. Where will he land this upcoming offseason? This is the LockEmUp Hoops podcast. I'm Realistic Randy with Mastermind and BoldBarry.
I want it all. Life for the famous, rich beyond my wildest dreams. I'm so shameless. Promised I wouldn't let it go once I grabbed it, but now I want more, and I'ma have it. Champagne dreaming, campaign teaming, so much.